Hey guys, the Blogging Buddhist here. I apologize, I'm just chilling out here. It's about, we're in, I think it's 31 degrees here right now. Yeah, 32 degrees and sunny. Took the day off today to take care of a couple of things here at home and figured it'd be a nice afternoon to hit the bag. So I did a bag workout for half an hour and then I decided to see how badly I could hurt my legs by doing a speed kilometer on the bike. But so that's why I'm kind of sweaty and out of breath and looking like I'm suffering, showing my age a little bit today. But haven't shown my face on the site here for a little while, so I figured it was a good time to maybe record just a short video to talk about fair fights. Being a martial artist, I've heard that term thrown around a lot. But before I do that, make sure if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube page, please do so. Visit the main site at www.thebloggingbuddhist.com. Make sure you like and follow that page so you can get daily posts about Buddhism, diabetes, health and fitness, all that good stuff. If you haven't done so already, make sure you click the like and follow buttons at the bottom there so that you can get notifications about these videos whenever I post them. So now that I got the official stuff out of the way, let's talk about fair fights. So what is a fair fight? Well, normally the average person would consider a fair fight one where both parties are aware that the fight's going to happen and that to some extent the opponents are evenly matched. So I mean, if you get just for the sake of argument, you get a 250-pound weightlifter who is just absolutely jacked and muscled, and then you get, I don't know, a 110-pound guy that's maybe a few years younger, weaker, doesn't exercise, doesn't work out, has no fighting skills. I think we could all agree that that larger individual will have a bit of an advantage in that fight, and it probably won't be all that fair. Where it comes to things like an organized fight that happens through sporting events, things like MMA, wrestling, boxing matches, things like that, those are typically considered fair fights because they're organized. They have rules, they have strictures. Even in things like MMA, where for the most part the majority of combat rules are kind of cast aside, they do still have some rules in place, like no strikes to the groin and things of that sort. But if you guys know anything about me, and you know from what I've written on my blog and what I post in my videos and stuff, I deal with reality. I deal with real life scenarios. I deal with what happens on the street. This comes from both my experience in law enforcement and from my own personal experiences. I can say that after almost 4 decades of training in the martial arts, I have unfortunately found myself in situations where I've had to defend myself, where I've had to defend others, and I can tell you, first and foremost, without a doubt, there is genuinely no such thing as a fair fight when it comes to fighting on the street. The reason for that is pretty simple, because if you're getting into a fight on the street, there's a reason behind it. Hopefully you weren't the instigator of that fight. Hopefully you had the discipline and the presence of mind to back away and remove yourself from the situation. There are a lot of different ways to do that. In fact, just recently I found a really good Facebook video where there's a coach in a boxing gym who is teaching a bunch of students some verbal judo on how to talk your way out of a fight. General things like if you're in a bar and you've got a few drinks in you and maybe the people around you have got a few drinks in them as well, and your eyes happen to fall upon a lady that's in the bar, and all of a sudden her very burly, very drunk and very violent boyfriend goes, "What are you looking at?" And the guy proposes certain things like, "Oh, well, she looks familiar. Is that Margaret? Are you Margaret? I just thought it was someone I knew. Sorry. This is your boyfriend? Okay, fantastic. You guys have a great night. Can I buy you guys around?" Like he offers up some kind of verbal judo and some different ways to talk yourself out of a fight. Now, I'm a bit of a hybrid because I fall on both sides of the coin. I think that as a civilized society, we shouldn't be in a situation where we have to explain ourselves constantly. I mean, if you're out in public, someone happens to be looking at your significant other, that's going to happen, right? You're out in public. It's going to happen. How you choose to react to that situation is up to you. But from a fight standpoint, if you ever find yourself in a situation where someone intentionally means to harm you, it's already not a fair fight. It's not fair because, well, chances are you don't want to fight. You don't want to fight with this person. I mean, I know for myself, the few times where I've actually been out having drinks somewhere with friends or something, I'm not out to fight. I'm not out to get into a confrontation. When I'm out in public, running errands, shopping, doing whatever, fights on the street never happen because both people want to fight. But every now and again, you'll find yourself in a scenario where you may be faced with a situation where you have no choice but to fight, because it's the only way for you to get out of that situation without having any significant harm brought upon yourself or others. Fair fights are for the people on the sidelines that are watching. They're not for the ones that are kind of sitting through the blood, sweat, and tears that come with an actual fight on the street. So those are important things to bear in mind. If you find yourself stuck in a situation, you're able to talk your way out of it, that's always the best way. Fighting should always be your absolutely last resort, no matter what training you have, no matter what your pride might be telling you. You know what? I've always been of the opinion, and I've faced this situation a number of times, I'd much rather walk away and lose face and be embarrassed by what's being thrown at me verbally than actually have to exchange blows with someone, with a random stranger. Especially depending on what the laws in your particular jurisdiction may imply. You know, you get into a fight with someone who's decided to stand toe-to-toe with you, and all of a sudden that one punch you give them to the side of the jaw puts them down on the ground, they crack their head open on the side of a curb or something, and next thing you know they're paralyzed, or God forbid they happen to expire. Now you're facing an extremely sticky situation where you've probably altered, damaged, and negatively impacted not only your own life, but the life of that opponent and their family for the rest of their lives. So fighting should always be an absolute last resort, and that's where the Buddhist side of me kicks in, because we want to try and reduce suffering in the world. We want to try and reduce the amount of violence that we create and that we engender. As the old saying goes, there are some people that just want to sit there and watch the world burn. And the unfortunate reality is sometimes you'll find yourself in a situation where no matter what you do, no matter what you say, that person's coming at you. Now, there's absolutely no expectation that if someone comes at you that way that you just sit there and take it. I don't think that's fair. That's not fair to you. That's not fair to whoever the next person is that aggressor might move on to. So if you find yourself in that situation, defend yourself appropriately. But once you have the ability to do so, there's absolutely no shame and there's nothing wrong with walking away. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, no matter which way you look at it, fighting should always, absolutely and without a doubt, be your last line of defense. Because ultimately, no matter how hard you train, there'll always be someone who trains harder. No matter how skilled you are, there'll always be someone who has more skill. And no matter what you think you know, or how capable you think you might be, we are all capable of making mistakes. And it only takes that one mistake that might alter your life forever. So just bear that in mind. It's food for thought. If you guys have followed my blog, you'll notice that I use those words a lot at the end of some posts where I'll say food for thought, because it's just to get your mind forward thinking in that direction. So yeah, just bear that in mind. There's no such thing as a fair fight, not in the streets. You'll either get suckered, you'll get smoked by someone who's more skilled than you. Maybe the person that you're starting the fight with has a whole bunch of friends who's absolutely ready to jump in and kick your ass if you do happen to have the advantage. And if you have the advantage and you significantly injure, harm, or kill someone, then you'll have affected your life forever. And that's something that not only does it change you, but it's something you should never have to face. So there's no such thing as a fair fight, in no way, shape, or form. Just something for you guys to bear in mind. Anyways, I'm glad I was able to get on camera here and just kind of throw out a quick video. I haven't done that in a while, and I kind of ignore my YouTube page because it's usually easier for me to type out my thoughts and try to verbalize them. But if you haven't done so already, make sure you visit my main website, www.thebloggingbuddhist.com. Make sure you follow it to get daily content on type 1 diabetes, health and fitness, Buddhism, exercise routines, and once in a while I like to throw in some motivational stuff. So make sure you follow my page. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe and follow to my YouTube page, and I'll see you guys out there. Take care.